Kicking up dust on a rick house floor. Charred oak whispers we can't ignore. Stories in the mash, fire in the grain. Raise up your glass, feel that bourbon flame. We're the bourbon legends, let the spirit flow. From the backwoods stills to tonight's big show. Every drop a story, every sip that's drowned. We're bourbon legends, let's throw it down. Let's throw it down. From Kentucky hills to the neon lights, we're talking small batch days and whiskey nights. Tasting the past in every pour. Gonna carve our names on the distiller's door. We're the bourbon legends, let the spirit flow. From the backwoods stills to tonight's big show. Every drop a story, every sip that's drowned. We're bourbon legends, let's throw it down. Let's throw it down. Raise 'em high, feel the fire. Clinking glasses, lifting higher. One more toast to the ones before and the legends we're making forevermore. We're the bourbon legends, let the spirit flow. From the rick house walls to your front row. Every drop a story, every sip a crown. We're bourbon legends, come gather round. Come gather round. Come gather round.
Hey everyone, it's Thursday night. I'm here live, Craig Imboden, the Bourbon Santa, along with Roger Randall. We're going to have to get him a nickname. I know he goes by Bourbon Neat. Maybe we need to add that to your
Well, I didn't want to
name.
do that tonight due to our guest coming on and make people think the only thing I like is bourbon neat. So,
That's
because
true.
tonight's theme is going to be about what?
Cocktails.
Cocktails. And before the show, we went down the rabbit hole.
We did, but before we go down that rabbit hole here live, I think something needs to be said. I don't want to get too political here, but you know it is Patriot Day,
It is Patriot Day.
so I think we should never forget what happened there in New York and Pennsylvania and was it
Washington,
D.C.,
D.C., yeah.
Washington, and all that, and over 3,000 lives were lost. Whether you believe it's really happened or it was a conspiracy or whatever, doesn't matter. 3,000 people lost their lives that day. A lot of heroes, like in Pennsylvania, took that plane down. And, it was just for being such a sad time for our nation, the days after that and the weeks, really, months, if you will, that showed a glimpse of what we really can do when we put our minds to coming together to work things out instead of always wanting to be divided, and it proved it on September 12th of 2001 and so on. So anyway, cheers to those fallen. Now we'll go down that rabbit hole. So tonight we're talking about cocktails, but have you ever thought, where did the word cocktail come from?
Yes, I did, and we found out earlier.
Well, just like in all whiskey legends or lore, I guess you would call it, there's more than one story, you know?
Go
And
figure.
so I guess you're going to have to figure out on your own which one you like the best and go with it. So there's four theories. One of them is uh, horse cocktails. In the 18th century, horse trading, a cocktail meant that a horse with a tail that was docked indicated that it was not a purebred. So, metaphorically speaking, a cocktail would be a drink that was mixed and not a pure spirit. Now, some say that in New Orleans in the late 1700s, pharmacist Antoine Picard, you know, those bitters that you use in cocktails, he served brandy drinks in French egg cups called coquette, which was French. So, you know how English bastardized words, maybe they started calling it cocktails. Another theory is that bartenders used to use rooster tails to stir the drink, and then they'd leave it in there as a
Garnish.
decoration. Yeah, and then that would be a cock's tail. And finally, some taverns allegedly served dregs of barrels, which would be the tail end of the barrel, and they would mix that together with sugar and whatnot to make the cocktail. And the spigot that would be on those barrels was called a cock. So
You take your theory.
I mean, most historians say that they think that the horse trading metaphor is the one that is maybe more true than any of them, but I don't know.
Just like who's the true father of bourbon?
I mean,
Is it
some
Elijah
say
Craig?
Elijah Craig. I don't know.
I don't know. So
Well, hey,
if you have any theories on this, boys and girls out there in TV land, put your thought and what your theory is and what. Oh boy, this ought to be fun.
Well, Scott's going with the rooster tail theory.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a good one too. Also there's another lore. We should do a whole show on lore. How they would put the whiskey in barrels. They'd go down to New Orleans and then they'd buy horses and they'd race them back up to Kentucky. And that's why they had horse racing. Horse hockey. That's what I say. Horse hockey on that.
Horse hockey.
Hey, we've got a fun show tonight. I don't know if any of you guys pay attention to what's going on, but we've got a bingo game tonight, and it starts now. So if you haven't got your bingo cards, I'm going to give you a chance right here to screenshot any one of these four cards. Now, each card has words on them. So it might say rye, or it might say wheat, or whatever. So from this point on, if me, Roger, or our guest Jason say any of these words, you mark it out, and the first person that gets a good bingo will win a prize. Okay? Bourbon Bingo. So good luck, everybody. If you haven't, now Will is already saying bingo. Now, and that's Will. I know that's not true. That's not true. My goodness, there's always got to be some clown in the group, isn't it?
There's one.
Might as well be Will.
Yeah, well, he's our mid-level celebrity.
That's true. That's true. Okay, Roger. Let's jump into something that's near and dear to my heart. Are you ready? Does everybody have their banner? Can I remove this banner now? All right. Something near and dear to my heart. The release of the King of Kentucky 17 year.
I can't wait for the Sunday that you buy this.
I'm going to tell you what. If I can find this for MSRP, I will be buying another one. Otherwise, it may take a whole day of day drinking before I buy another one at the cost that I bought the last one. But Kings of Kentucky are hard to come by, especially for MSRP, especially when you don't live in Kentucky.
Yeah. Non-chill filtered, single barrel, MSRP of $350 and above, just like every other big bottle out there anymore. It's $250 to $350. I think
You
the
know,
people that went to the Kentucky Bourbon Festival this last weekend realized everything was greater than $200.
that is true. I had a guy come in to our shop today who's a whiskey guy, and we were talking, and he's like, "Well, this one isn't bad. It's only $100 a bottle." He didn't think the $100 a bottle was a bad price. So hey,
Hey, it's everybody to each their own.
that's right. Nowadays $100 bill really you don't have anything. I remember when I was younger, $100 bill, boy, it meant something. Now, $100 bill is gone before you ever know it.
Yep.
All right, moving right along. We also have the High West bottled and bond that's being introduced this week. It's distilled 4 to 5 years in Utah, and actually, I believe, Roger, they distill it in Utah as well.
Yeah, it's their own distillant, which it's typically in the past they've sourced some stuff and they've had some of their own. This is kind of interesting. Again, not high on my list, not been one of my favorites, but I know it's a favorite of a lot of our other people out there. There's a lot of people who've gotten the Prisoner Share and many of the other special releases they get. It's just not been on my list, but I know that Chill Will Rocco, our co-host, he he likes a few of the different ones of the High West, so we might have to give it a try. We'll just give it a try.
Yeah, honestly, I've never tried it. So if anybody has a bottle of High West and they want to share it, I guess I'd
Yeah.
try it. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
By the way, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Carlos says he's interested in it, at least to taste it. Same with me. I want to taste it. I want to see what it's like because bottle and bond from them, 100 proof. We'll see.
Yeah, it's 4 to 5 year old juice, so we'll see. Speaking of, I failed to say this at the very beginning of the show. I want to say hi and welcome to all of Whiskey Therapy's channel. If you guys are tuning in, go to the comments and say hi. We're going to have a little giveaway here in a little bit, so sure would like you to subscribe, and that's the only way that you can get on. So what we do is we have a drawing here, and it's through StreamYard, and I believe that you have to subscribe to our channel to actually be able to comment on YouTube. So be sure and go and subscribe, and that way that you can get in on this prize here, and we're going to announce that in just a little bit what we're giving away tonight. Like we said, this is Bourbon Heritage Month, second week of Bourbon Heritage Month actually. So we're going to give away a bottle, at least one bottle every week, at least one, maybe two. You never know.
Maybe two.
All right, and finally, Will Horse is coming out this week, or this coming week, and 5-year, 112 non-chill filtered bottle.
This is a barrel proof item that's through the Green River Distilling. It's one of their labels that they had out initially. It's a very good 100 proofer that they have out there, but they've started to do this barrel proof version. We've seen it locally, so it is available in Arkansas, and I believe it will be available over in Memphis and other areas around the country. The key with it is I think they're going to do more of these as they go along, as a second label to their other main label, which is the Green River, which most of them, for the price, $44. If you can find it, grab it. I think it's one of those that it's worth trying.
I mean, it's limited at 2,100 bottles, so at the price point of 44, I mean, might as well try it. If not, put it in your infinity barrel or something. Take it to a bottle share.
Yeah, I know this isn't on our little list here, but I want to let everybody know that in the Memphis area and in Arkansas, at least, we know that Disco 13 along with the finished bourbon that they're coming out with, should be made available here in the next week and be releasing to the various markets. So it was available at the Kentucky Bourbon Festivals last weekend, and it was very, very popular. So I can't imagine that it'll be any different when it hits here.
Speaking of the Kentucky Bourbon Festival, did any of our viewers, did they make it to the Kentucky Bourbon Festival? If so, leave a comment. Tell us what you thought about it. We're batting around the idea next year of going if we're comped some tickets, and even at that, if we were comped some media passes, that still might be a hard sell for us.
Yeah, 7,000 people plus, and I know that Adam Major Zero released a video today. It's about a 2-hour video,
Oh
which
Lord.
is everything that he saw at the Kentucky Bourbon Festival over the weekend. So, so far, I watched a little of it. It's kind of interesting. He had some really good interviews with some people. He tried some really good stuff, and he got his unicorn bottle he was looking for. So, if you get a chance, you can watch that. It's kind of interesting because it does show what the behind the scenes would be on it and gives you an idea of what it's like. But there were lines, 2.5 hour lines.
Yeah, a
So
lot of lines. Lines and me just don't really mash very well.
no,
All right, so guys, I'm going to let you in on this before we bring in Jason, our special guest tonight. I'm going to show it on the screen here. If you want in on the Wild Turkey Spiced, right now is the time to hit #turkey, TURKEY, gobble gobble. 86 proofer. When it's gone, it's gone. It's been discontinued. This is, as my friend Mike Brock says, it's cake batter in a bottle. It is like vanilla cake batter. When you scoop that last little bit out and lick that bowl clean, my God, this is good stuff. And I think it would be excellent in a cocktail.
I agree. That's the main reason. After I tasted it, I got a sample of it from Mike Brock, and after we had it, I really thought it'd be good. And then we happened to turn up on it here at a local store that got the closeout of all the bottles that were left, and I'm looking forward to making cocktails with it over the winter time.
Did you buy one when we were there, Roger? I don't remember.
Oh yeah,
Did you?
I've got one. Yeah, I got one for me to make drinks with because it was that good.
I mean, it's a low proofer, so I guess you have to drink 2 drinks instead of 1, but it really is good. I mean, I just had it neat, and I thought it was very good, very flavorful.
Yeah, and it's one of those oddball wild turkey things that, and we all know, okay, who celebrated his 71st anniversary?
Yeah, our buddy Mr. Jimmy.
Jimmy Russell. They got a brand new ad campaign out there, boys and girls. You got to watch it. It's kind of humorous.
Yeah, what's he say, or what's the slogan?
If you make it right, don't change a damn thing.
Don't change a damn thing. Carlos wants me to sound like a turkey again. I don't know if that's what a turkey sounds like or not, but it's what.
Well, we got some turkey hunters out there. I'm pretty sure Will hunts up turkey, so he might have a better turkey call than that. But,
that's a dying turkey right there.
Yeah.
Anywho, hey, let's bring Jason in. Are you ready?
Yeah,
oh, hold on. I don't want to do that. That's gonna draw the.
No, we don't want to draw.
Here, we're gonna bring Jay. I don't know why the turkey keeps coming up. Get off of there, turkey. Good Lord help. What's going on? Jason from Whiskey Therapy. Good afternoon, or evening rather.
My bourbon brothers, how we doing?
Good, we're good. How are you?
Wow, look at Roger with the fanciness.
I got fireworks. I make him happy every time he sees
Roger
fireworks.
has fireworks. If it's your birthday, he can make balloons come out. He's got all kinds of things.
Step up my game here. Y'all are high end.
Well,
look at those balloons. My goodness. So
You
what
gotta
are
have
we
fun with
what are we
this.
drinking tonight, guys? I mean, hey, let's just cut to the chase.
So Jason, before the show, sent us a recipe for us to complete for a Manhattan, I believe. That's what we all should have initially to start off with. And uh, I have finished blending mine, and I just added the ice cube to it with my
All right, so I got mine.
my two Spanish cherries that I.
Well, if you want me to throw up the little promo I put for it, so everybody.
Yeah, we can do
Yeah.
that. Yeah, let's do that. All right, here we go. Talking about fancy, that beats
Yeah.
those balloons any day of the week. Man.
Yeah, he just won. He won. He just went
Yeah.
there and dropped the
Yeah.
mic.
Nice balloons, though.
Yeah.
Now, I see you did something different when you made yours. You used little balls of ice, and I just used one big ball of ice. So I guess, is there a difference when you do that? It gets colder faster, or what? Is there just your personal preference?
Yeah, it's probably more personal preference. Just for chilling it down, the smaller ones will get it cold faster. That's why, like in tiki drinks and stuff, they'll use nugget ice, right, instead of even the small spheres. And then usually when I do mine, I always just serve it, chilled but straight up in a glass.
See, there you go.
Learn something new every day.
He's got those fancy glasses. That's the thing.
I see on my screen here. It's so little I can't see the glass. So
It's almost a pinky out glass.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, I see it now.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
fancy.
Hold on. Let me see here. Let me see. We'll work that. There you go.
There you go. Here, I can solo that. Look at that. Oh man.
There you go.
That looks nice.
So you just get it cold and then you strain it out. And where I kept the ice cube in mine.
Yeah.
So mine just gets weaker and weaker as we go.
It gets dilution.
Especially when I'm doing the show, when I'm running the boards and everything, I tend not to drink. So
Well, there's no real right or wrong to anything. It's all what you enjoy the most.
Yep.
that's what they say.
And so
Very
the reason we wanted to bring Jason on tonight is we get in later in the fall, into the winter time. A lot of people are trying to find, you want to lead off your night with a cocktail of some sort. And typically the bourbon people are going to focus on the bourbon related cocktails and have those as something to try. And so we wanted to offer some ideas, but then also make sure that you follow Jason and his show on YouTube, because he has got a ton of recipes out there, guys. I'm telling you, he's got them all, and he walks you through each piece to it, shows the individual pieces. I like it because I could bring up the video and do it while I was making the drink, and I can stop it and go back and make sure I have the right proportions and everything like that. But
I bet some of our mods can put that link out there. Yeah, Chill Will already beat me to it. Good job,
Yeah.
Will.
He's
Hey,
on.
I'm telling you, he's the third leg in the table there.
and if Jason looks familiar, because our previous guest, Carlos, and him sometimes do lives together, and they are very interesting, very informative. And I believe as they move forward, they're going to be advancing that collusion. Collusion, is that a good word? Or partnership?
Partnership.
Partnership
There you go.
into some different things and provide different things. But I wanted to have him on because, again, a lot of us don't know how to do cocktails, we think, but we really don't, maybe not getting it right or not getting everything that needs to be out of a particular beverage.
Jason, I have a question. How is and this is actually a question that I didn't have for you, but it just popped in my head. Uh, how important is it when you're making cocktails to actually follow a recipe? Is it like baking where you really need to follow a recipe, or is it more like cooking where you just a little bit of this and a pinch of that? What's your opinion on that?
I mean, I'd say it's probably more like cooking. If you're a little bit off here and there, or if you sub something out, I don't think it's necessarily the end of the world. I mean, if you're trying to, match a famous cocktail or, an old pre-prohibition cocktail or something like that. I mean, people go crazy, just like we bourbon hunt, right? Some folks go hunting for some of those old gins and, by different distilleries. A lot of them are out of business, but they try to find something close to replicate the original. So there's different levels of it, I think, just like there is on the bourbon side, right? But it's more about, so your analogy to cooking, Craig, I mean, I would say craft cocktails take time. They take a little longer to make. I used to be a professional bartender long ago. So that's kind of how I got started into this whole thing. But they take a minute because you're using fresh ingredients. And it's just like when you cook, right? All fresh ingredients makes a huge difference in how the food tastes versus a bunch of pre-packaged garbage.
Right.
So you'll hear on my videos a lot. I kind of preach and I make a lot of really smart aleck remarks about lemon juice and the little plastic yellow lemons. And I can't do it. I always do fresh lemon juice, fresh lime juice. It makes a world of difference in cocktail.
Oh yeah, it's same way with cooking. Like you said, the ingredients that go into it is what really, ties all the loose ends up at the end. And it just goes to show, I mean, here's one of the funny things I always hear is like, well, I bought this whiskey and I don't like it. It could be rye, it could whatever, but I'll use it in cocktails.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we're just going to cover up the nasty flavor that you don't like with sugar and bitters, I guess,
But it works. Carlos and I actually did a whole live on it. Like, what do you do with train pour whiskey? And he brought, between the two of us, we had some of the worst whiskey we've ever tasted. And we tried to make cocktails out of them and see if they were at least palatable, right? And some of them were pretty successful, actually. They weren't bad cocktails, but would never drink the whiskey just neat, No. Mm-mm.
Right. But, I mean, do you not agree that a good whiskey is going to make a better whiskey will make a better cocktail?
So, yes. But, when you get into your higher end whiskey, those, my opinion, right? Those are just nice, neat sipping whiskey. You really want to enjoy those for what they are. You don't want to, bring a bunch of other flavors into it. So, if you're using like a rail whiskey versus, a $20, $30 bottle of whiskey in a cocktail, yeah, absolutely makes a difference. You start using, Stag or GTS in a cocktail, I got to question your sanity. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I'm going to make a Stag old fashioned. I promise you some one day.
I have actually done it. It's fantastic, but it's an expensive damn old fashioned.
Yeah. But
True.
You only live once.
Although not what they charge you at the bar. So there you go. You do have that going for you.
Yeah. And that's the key with it. I think a lot of us, especially in our group, there's a lot of people, we enjoy a lot of our distilleries, not just for the bourbon they produce, but also for the bars that they have at their distilleries now. Yeah. One of them is Old Dominic in downtown Memphis, and we've got Rocktown over here in Little Rock again, a place that you might not always like their bourbon or everything, but their bartenders and their bar and the way they mix their drinks are phenomenal. And I think everybody in this group has had a cocktail. They'll put on the drop in the comment what your favorite cocktail is at Old Dominic. I mean, there's things that they've tried there that I don't think people would try normally because it was done right and it was very, very. It was a unique presentation of the alcohol. That's the best way to put it.
I think that's key because usually the bars and the distilleries they have legit bartenders, right? And they're doing full on craft cocktails, custom ingredients. Like I make all my own syrups, everything, all my own mixers. I kind of do everything from scratch, and it's kind of the same with those places. They really make a name for themselves and doing quality ingredients and craft stuff. And I think a lot of folks get turned off to cocktails. Honestly, Carlos and I have had this conversation because he's not a cocktail guy. He doesn't really care for cocktails. But I've made some for him that he's really enjoyed. And I think it comes down to the fact that people go to cheap bars, or I hate to say it, but cruise ships. And those cocktails are so sweet and so loaded with sugar and so loaded with preservatives. They just don't taste good. And people think, well, that's representative. A Manhattan, for example, right? You have to use a quality rye for it to taste good. And the vermouth will change it a lot on how it'll taste, which type of vermouth you use. But that said, you got these quality ingredients. And I think people get turned off sometimes to cocktails because they've had cheap cocktails at a bad place that didn't care how it was made. And that's representative for them. Oh, that's what a Manhattan tastes like. No, not a real one. Might be able to call what you had a Manhattan, but probably not.
Yeah, and I find myself getting more and more. I'll be honest. If I go to a restaurant and I want to order a cocktail, I'm going to make sure it's a good restaurant and they know how to do it and make a good cocktail. Yeah. Otherwise, just give me water, give me a glass of tea, and I'm okay. Because I'd rather not have to deal with it if it's going to be crap. And the same goes with a good pour at a bar. If they don't have a good back rail of good bourbons there that I can try, and we're fortunate, we've got some really good restaurants around that have some great pours. But then there's also some places that, they're using Jim Beam and they have ice they hit the ice machine and chunks of ice go in, and he throws them some crazy cherry that he's pulled out of a bag. It's like, it's not that. That's not a cocktail to me. That's just someone's version of a drink.
Well, speaking of cocktails, Jason, do you ever remember what the first cocktail was that you created on your own? And did you think like, wow, this is really something special? Or
so I did some way back when I was a bartender, and I don't even probably remember the recipes anymore. As of late, I did a Halloween special last year, and I came up with a cocktail called Gargoyle's Blood that uses Von Payne, which is local here to Florida. That's a black currant whiskey. It's a pretty cool cocktail. I didn't hear anything, unfortunately, but I did just enter the Still Austin cocktail competition that they had. But I haven't seen them post anything, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But I actually did a spicy bourbon Paloma, and it doesn't even sound like any of that should go together. But it came out pretty good. Actually, Carlos was over one night and tried it. A couple other folks in our whiskey club here tried it, and they're like, dang, you know what? This is all right. So I called it what did I call it? A spicy Longhorn is what I called it.
I like it. I like the idea because I like Palomas. And again, it's a different type of drink, but if it's done right, it's very, very, very good.
Yeah. How about you, Craig? Do you ever have cocktails very often, or are you more of just a straight whiskey guy?
I'm really more of a straight whiskey guy. I'm a diabetic, so the sugar's not that good for me, and so I try not to drink too many of them. Right. The wife, on the other hand, likes old fashions. She likes Manhattans. She had a Manhattan at I believe it was Willet, and she's like, it's the best Manhattan she's ever had.
Yeah.
So, yeah, all the stuff that usually I make for her, I buy the ingredients for her and let her whip something up. But yeah, I just, on Wednesday nights on our Discord channel, a lot of times we have theme nights, and we will have a cocktail night. It's just, the sugar. I mainly do it for health reasons. I just try not to that much sugar,
Yeah.
And you can scale some of that back a little bit. Well, I think the simple syrups and something like that can be done in a little bit less moderation, and you're getting more of the flavors from the bitters and from the bourbon and the those type things. And again, that's what I try to do. I try to do about half the simple syrup that they have on there, because I find it gets too sweet. It's not, you're not tasting like you say, the rye or the bourbon that you put into it.
Right.
So one thing that you can do along those lines, and for what it's worth, Craig, I have type 2 as well. So I can relate.
I think over half the country has type 2.
I'm telling you what, it's crazy. But one thing that I do, and I use it in most of my cocktails, is you can actually make your own simple syrup or demerara syrup for an old fashioned. And if you do it as a rich simple syrup, so a 2-to-1 type ratio, you can use a lot less of it to get the same amount of sweetness. So you can dial it way back from a 1-to-1 simple syrup and still get the sweetness, but have less overall sugar in there. And it works out pretty well. And if you do it yourself, and I have a couple videos, I need to redo some of them because some of the ones were when I first started, and I look back at them and kind of cringe now. But, it's part of the progression, right? But they're super easy. And I actually cold blend all of my syrups, meaning that I just take, a measurement, basically, whatever it is, 150 grams of sugar, 75 grams of water. I throw it into a blender. I blend it for 2 minutes, and you're done. You made simple syrup. Super easy.
So what's your go-to whiskey cocktail that you would?
What's that?
What's your go-to whiskey cocktail?
Ooh,
that you like?
I have a couple I really like. I'm really fond of Sazeracs. I really like Vieux Carrés a lot. I don't know what it is about the Louisiana cocktails, but I'm kind of drawn to those.
I would imagine that most cocktails, or a lot of them, were developed in New Orleans.
I gotta believe that's true. I mean, it seems like a lot of the whiskey cocktails came from the South at any rate. But really partial to those two. And I do my Sazerac probably a little different than a lot of folks. I actually mix cognac in with the rye. So I do like a 1.5 ounce rye. And matter of fact, I made one the other day. I got that new Sazerac 100 proof. Oh, that is good stuff.
Is it done?
So I tried. Go ahead, Roger.
No, that's what I was wondering, if the 100 proof made that much of a difference in the Sazerac.
So I did them head to head, right? The regular Saz and the 100. And to me, the Saz 100 is what Saz always should have been. It has just that extra little bite, but just the flavors come through so much better. It's really good. So when I got the bottle, I'm like, I have to make a Sazerac with this, because I always use Sazerac rye in a Sazerac because, just kind of the original. But I do swap out and instead of doing 2 ounces of rye, I'll do 1.5 ounces of rye and 1/2 ounce of cognac. And actually, the original ones long, long ago were actually made with cognac because there was a shortage on rye. So it's one thing with cocktails, it's kind of like some of the old distilleries, there's always some kind of interesting story behind all of them. And some of it's kind of colorful, to say the least. A lot of people don't agree on where almost any of them have come from, but it's certainly interesting.
It's funny you talk about, we're talking about New Orleans. I can just sit here because I go to Mardi Gras almost every year, and
Mhm.
just the sheer amount of cocktails that I've had. Uh, Very good friends with the lady who developed the hand grenade,
Really?
Pam Fortner. Yeah, and I mean, I guess that's a
Wow.
cocktail. And then of course a hurricane. From
Of
Pat
course.
O'Brien's, and uh, the list goes on and on and on. Trying
Hmm.
to think, at the old Absinthe House. What is that one called? It's a purple drink. We call it the purple drink, but it's like a slushy. I don't even know, but I think most of them use, like, PGA in them. I know the hand grenade does. It's like melon liqueur and PGA,
Yeah.
and it'll knock you cocktail in the
Yeah.
dirt, if you know what I mean.
There's some sneaky ones. We were talking earlier about that one I did for Still Austin, and I actually used their cast strength rye in it, and it's what I call a sneaker. Just what you're saying, it's one of those where people would drink it, and like I said, a few folks tried it, Carlos being one of them, and he kind of sucked that thing down. I'm like, dude, you better be careful. He's like, I don't even taste the liquor, and I said, well, that's kind of the point. Like, it's supposed to all blend, and it's kind of like Long Island iced tea dangerous. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, man.
Oh yeah.
Love a good Long Island iced tea. I guess that's a cocktail
Mhm.
as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I
So
have to tell a New Orleans. Sorry, Roger. I got to tell
no, go
this
ahead.
story before I forget. One of the first times me and my wife went to New Orleans, we went to the Pat O'Brien's bar, went inside, and a lady friend bought my wife. Hold on. I should back up. I think this lady wanted to become a lady friend with my wife, but that's another story.
Got it. Yeah,
But
it's a different story. Yeah.
she bought her a drink called the Push Cafe. Are you guys familiar with a Push Cafe?
I don't know that I've ever had one of those. No.
So it is liqueurs, and the bartenders float each liqueur on top of the other.
Right.
Let's just say it tasted like crap, but my wife shot it basically, and spent the rest of the night in the hotel bathroom. So
One of
so we
those.
still
It
talk
pushes
about
things
that
out.
30 years later. The Push Cafe.
Wow.
Sounds like a stoplight shot.
So what determines when you're making a drink? Okay, when you're developing one, not following a recipe, but you're just coming up with one. What makes you choose a bourbon over a rye, or what's that thought process?
So it usually for me at least when I do it, it has to do with what you're trying to cut through. So case in point, if you have something that's a little more sugar heavy, or maybe has some fruit juices in it, for example, you almost always need a rye, or at
Okay.
least a barrel proof, right? I like whiskey forward cocktails. I do want to taste a little bit of the whiskey in it. I appreciate fully balanced and the sneakers, as I call them, but I do like to taste a little bit of the bourbon. And it really just kind of depends what ingredients you're using and how much cut you need. Certainly, like Texas whiskeys, for example, right? Because they have a very, very distinct flavor, and they will tend to cut through other flavors a little bit better than, say, like a Kentucky bourbon. Or even a Tennessee whiskey, because you get that bit of that charcoal flavor, right? So there's certain flavors that will it will cut through better. So it's really, how balanced do you want it? How whiskey forward do you want it to be? It takes a really long time, or at least it takes me a long time, to develop a really good cocktail, because I'll change amounts, I'll change ingredients, I'll change bourbons. And I don't even know anymore. I think the last I checked, I don't know, I have like 400 bourbons on the wall or something crazy like that. So it's not like I don't have a good selection to go through and figure out which ones work. But there's a book out there. I'm trying to remember. I think it's called the Food Bible. It basically breaks down almost like all flavors on the palate, and it'll actually tell you in there like what flavors work with other flavors. It's an absolutely astonishing book to use if you build cocktails. Really, if you cook too. I mean, it's great for cooking, but a lot of bartenders use it because it does help match up flavors, or maybe flavors you wouldn't think would pair, and they actually work.
So Jason, just getting to a basics, what are some of the suggested ryes or bourbons that fit within a good, a nice price point that you recommend people try to start using and putting into using for their cocktails, either be Manhattans or old fashions or any of the others? And what I'm also going to ask is that the audience, you put your go-to in the chat, please, of what your go-to bourbon or rye is, and we'll get that going through as far as a discussion.
So I go through a lot of what I would call basic shelfers in cocktails. Because again, I'm not using real high bourbon. I want a quality bourbon, but it doesn't have to be a real high-end bourbon. So case in point, Old Forester 100, Old Forester Rye. Old Forester Rye is one of my favorite ryes in an old-fashioned. It just works. Same thing with Wild Turkey 101, both the regular and the rye. Like other ryes, Old Overholt, Old Grandad. Which one am I? Oh, Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse is great in cocktails. A lot of bartenders use Rittenhouse.
Yeah.
Other bourbons, Buffalo Trace is great in a lot of cocktails because it's kind of that midpoint on the proof. It's not an 80 proof or it's not a 100 proof. It's right in between, and it works really well in cocktails.
RJ was wanting to know if was it the Food Bible or the Flavor Bible that you
Flavor Bible. Book. That's what I was trying to think. Yeah, I think it's the Flavor Bible.
Flavor Bible?
Yep.
Okay.
You actually got it on like an electronic copy of it. I go back to it all the time. I just couldn't remember what the hell it was called.
Yeah, it's kind of like your name. I don't know whether you're Jason or Jeremy or Joe
James.
or James.
It just depends on the day of the week. I don't know my name most of the time either. It's okay.
Scott brought up a good point with the Knob Creeks. The Knob Creek, that 7-year rye and the 9-year bourbon at 100 proof tends to be, to me, I think a lot of bars use that as their base for their drinks.
They do.
And those are both good, really good drinks, bourbons and ryes to have with your cocktails. But I don't know, the Rittenhouse has always been that one that has always been out there. I don't know how long ago, how old Rittenhouse is. It's been around forever, but it's always been the one I've seen people at higher end bars using as the mixer.
Well, here you go. I got one under the bar here right now. That's what I used in my Manhattan, as a matter of fact, was a Rittenhouse.
Yep.
And this one's almost dead. And I just picked up a store pick Rittenhouse. So I'm curious to see how that one's going to taste. But I like Rittenhouse. Knob Creek is a great point too, because it doesn't have any of that sharpness. It's that more peanutty, almost larceny style flavor. So it works well in a lot of cocktails too, because it's not real sharp.
Right. I'm down to my cherry now. I have a Luxardo cherry. Is that your go-to cherries?
Is there any other cherry?
Well, I mean, there are some different ones out there. I mean,
nope. There's not.
I like the ones in the little white Crocs.
Which ones?
The cherries in the little white Crocs. There's a couple of different ones.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Gosh,
they're candied. They're candied. So that's kind of like the treat at the end of the cocktail for me, is to have that candied cherry at the end.
Would you guys excuse me while I go make another one?
Absolutely.
Go right ahead.
Roger, you just take care of the show. I'm gonna go. Have a drink.
We left you in charge, Roger.
So now he's gone. Let's just get into the real But I think the biggest thing that a lot of people worry about when they make a cocktail is messing it up or making. And again, I've always found you can always add just a little something else to balance it back out. Always add a little more bourbon or rye, and
Yes.
it'll return to a little more of that flavor they want. And
Generally speaking, if you stick to the measurements, for a given recipe, and it's typically always 2 ounces of liquor in a cocktail, right? So as long as you kind of keep to that, the rest of the cocktail, like we talked about, kind of depends on the quality of your ingredients. And again, I can't stress it enough. Do not use juice from plastic fruit, please. I will find you. I will find you.
So if you're saying lemon and lime, what about orange juice? If you're going to do an orange,
I squeeze oranges for
fresh
orange juice in a
squeeze.
cocktail.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can double strain it, to get the pulp out of it. Generally speaking, and you'll see me do it on a lot of my videos. Like if you're using a shaker tin, that's anytime you use a citrus juice, it's always a double strain. So you have your regular, what is it here? So you have your regular Hawthorne strainer, right? That you would normally use, and then
that's what it is.
you use another fine mesh strainer as well. So that one goes down. This one goes over your shaking tin. And then you double strain. That way you don't get, if you're using nugget ice, you don't get ice chips. If you're using citrus, you don't get pulp. And it does make a big difference in the texture of the drink. Drinks are just like food. You taste it with your nose first. And then, then you get the flavor on your palate and then the texture in your mouth. And if you can get all those things together, you got yourself a darn good cocktail.
I still have that cherry flavor in my mouth. And I'm just sitting here thinking, God, those would be so good on a banana split, Roger.
So
Oh boy!
when I get to the end of, I have one right here. As a matter of fact, the guilty as charged, I guess. So there's a Luxardo jar. I use all the cherries, but I have a little juice left in there, and I keep it because I will dump a spoonful of that in some of the cocktails.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I definitely never not use all the juice. There's no doubt. Yeah, we might have. Well, I don't know if he's on here. I don't know if he is. We probably got him heading toward the local ice cream shop to get himself a banana split. We have a banana split lover in the group.
Oh my gosh. Talking about the dickle pickle. Hey, what do you think about using pickle juice in cocktails? Yay or nay? Is that kind of like pineapple on a pizza?
No, there's certain ones that works, and I'm trying to remember what's the one. Is it called a pickleback? There's literally a cocktail that's made where it has like pickle juice on the side, as like a shooter.
Huh.
I want to say it's called a pickleback. Somebody watching probably knows. One of our viewers probably know what it's called. I think it's called a pickleback.
I actually like pickles in between drinks to cleanse your palate.
It does a good job, really.
Yeah, we watched. I'm going to credit the guy, Dusty Dan. We were doing a big, huge cocktail thing, a drink thing one night, and he started eating pickles in between the rounds, and he was able to taste and nail the bourbons better than anybody else because he was eating those damn pickles, and it was like. I wouldn't have thought it worked, but it does. I guess it's the acid and the base or whatever the different things in interaction in your mouth. And the same thing goes with a cocktail. When you make a cocktail, it has that interaction depending on what flavors you add to it. And adding the right, like you say, juices, if you hand strain your orange juice, it's always better. It always tastes 10 times better.
Marty says, is it a Jack with a pickleback?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely can be Jack with it. I think there's a cocktail besides whiskey neat too. I think it started with a whiskey neat and a pickle juice shooter on the side, but yeah, green olives. Yeah, absolutely.
Green olives. Yeah, I guess that's the number one fruit. I guess an olive is a fruit. I'm sure it's not a vegetable that goes in a martini, huh?
It does.
The olive. I love you.
And that's probably the most famous cocktail out there. We're not jumping off the bourbon side, but jumping into it. What do you think is the most famous cocktail out there that gets ordered the most?
So been working down through the lists, and there's a bunch of different publications out there, and I've been trying to, like anybody who has a YouTube channel, you want to, put out what people want to see. So I start working through cocktail lists, and what are the top 20 cocktails for like whatever, like the last 5 years or whatnot. And it's an eclectic mix of cocktails. So the old fashioned's always on there, and usually near the top. Espresso martini is always on there. Matter of fact, I have an espresso martini video coming out tomorrow.
There you go. Tune in.
The porn star martini, which is a passion fruit martini, it's actually very good. It sounds, hideous, but it's a really good martini. Whiskey sours always on there, and I just did a video on whiskey sours. One of my favorite whiskey drinks, by the way. I love whiskey sours. What else is usually on there? Sazeracs are usually on there. Vieux Carrés are usually on there. Manhattans, of course, are always on there. And I love a Manhattan. I'm actually more partial to the black Manhattan over the regular Manhattan. But I struggle with
non-bourbon or whiskey rye. What would be probably the top cocktail? Is it a martini or is it a...
Yeah, it would either be a martini or one, and it's a relatively new drink. I have actually done a video for it. It's recorded. I haven't put it out yet. There's one that tops most of the list, and that's a gin basil smash. And then, of course, you get into some of your rum ones too, or other ones. Think mojitos are usually up there. Mint juleps are usually up there.
Camparinos.
Especially in Kentucky, right?
Yeah. Was it Caparino, or is that how you say it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Caparino's the one that's done in Miami and in the South and in Florida. Very popular down there.
Well, I guess a margarita probably would be the most popular, would it not? Would that be considered a cocktail, a margarita?
Oh no, absolutely a cocktail. Yeah. I mean, as far as probably the most ordered cocktail ever, it probably is a margarita.
I bet so.
Yeah,
I like a good margarita.
I do too.
If I go to the beach, I like a good rum punch myself.
Yes, I'm rather partial to rum punches too.
Or cranberry juice and anything.
They're like old fashions. There's like 800 variations of them, right?
Oh, you can put up Mike Brock's comment. He's a simple cocktail guy.
I haven't seen that. I bet it's Jack and Coke.
It is.
That is probably the most popular cocktail, Jack and Coke.
So that was the first cocktail I started on back when I was a whippersnapper and probably shouldn't have been drinking. I was a Jack and Coke guy, and I can't drink Old Number 7 anymore. I'm just like, nope, I'm out.
Man, I tell you what, I haven't had a Jack and Coke in so many years. But I bet you it's like riding a bike. I bet you if you had that right mixture of Coke and Jack, man. I remember once going to a wedding reception, and I live in a dry county, actually, Bible Belt. So, I go to this wedding, and I walk up to the bar, and I'm like, Jack and Coke. And the lady looks at me, and she says, is Pepsi okay? And I'm like, just give me just Jack, just plain old Jack. I couldn't even imagine mixing a Coke, a Jack with a Pepsi. Just didn't have that appeal.
No, it'd just be too sweet, I think.
I agree with you.
I used to live down in your neck of the woods. I was in St. Louis for about 17 years, and I used to actually do a bunch of work with manufacturing plants. I spent a lot of time down in Harrison, Arkansas.
Oh yeah.
So I'm real familiar with the dry counties and the Bible Belt down there.
It is so crazy. If you look at a map, and I've said this before, Arkansas, Mississippi, Kentucky. I mean, that's where 85% of your dry counties are. It's just so crazy.
So James brings up a good point. about bourbon and lemonade, whether it's sugar free or not. You know, lemonade is probably one of the most universal mixers with just about every damn liquor out there. You can use it with rum, you can use it with gin, you can use it with vodka. I mean, it just kind of works universally.
Yeah, and especially now with this blackberry the blackberry
Yes.
Jack, and then before that it was the Crown blackberry. Now that Crown blackberry, I had to mix it with damn lemonade, and I still didn't like it.
It was okay. I still have a bottle of it, and I still have a bottle because I didn't like it that much either. And when I first started my whiskey journey, if you will, I thought I was cool because I would drink Crown Royal, and I'm like, wow, this is like high end, you know?
Man, you got a purple bag with it. What are you talking about?
You know, it was a fancy bag, and you know, you could put all your junk in there, and it was wonderful.
Yeah. Now James says he
I'm
likes
gonna-
to mix the blackberry with
I'm going to tell you
or
something
apple
right now.
with lemonade.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and he uses a sugar-free lemonade
Yeah. I do
because,
too.
again, another diabetic situation. What was
Yeah,
the other thing that?
Oh, Doc, how you doing, brother?
Go ahead.
Roger's
Doc's
having a
online.
senior moment over there.
Having a senior moment. I had a thought process going, and I see Doc, and I get a little flustered. You know.
Well, you want me to
But,
step in for you there,
No, I was going to
Roger?
tell you the one they'll tell you not to buy is Crown just did a chocolate. Don't.
Oh,
Have you tried
Just
it?
don't.
no.
Yes,
no,
I had a sip of it.
no.
I had a sip of it, and
Can't
I
do it.
didn't like it. No. It tasted like the worst chocolate you'd ever had, and it was just it just didn't
I
it
thought
didn't
you were
make
going
it.
to say it. I thought you were going to say it tasted like a yoo-hoo, and then me and you were going to have some fighting
No,
words there
no,
if you didn't
no.
like a yoo-hoo.
Oh, I love Yoo-Hoo.
Oh man,
There's a thing we
that
need to
is
make
a yoo-hoo
a
is
cocktail with Yoo-Hoo.
a diabetic's nightmare. Because I swear to God, when I get a yoo-hoo, like 6 seconds and it's gone. It's like I don't even taste it. It's just like gone.
There's a new cocktail for you idea, Jason. A
Yeah,
Yoo-Hoo
can you
cocktail.
come up with a yoo-hoo cocktail?
Oh Lord. We actually had there's a guy in our club who I don't think he actually likes it. I think he just likes to torment all of us. But he's a big Malort fan.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah, no, and I mean most people use that as a punishment pour, right? So God bless him. He brought it over one night. We had a gathering with all the whiskey brethren, and we had a good time. And it got late, and we were all a few pours in, having fun. And he breaks out the dang Malort, and he's like, "No, you got to have some." So I had some, and I made the most god awful face you probably ever seen. It was horrible. And he goes, "You know, it'd be funny if you made a cocktail out of it." I said, "You know what? We're gonna make a Malort old fashioned. I'll even smoke it." And we did, and it was better, but it was not good.
it was still not good.
It was still not good.
I think Malort is the only company that sells so much product because it's so bad.
So here's
I
a little
see.
tip for everybody: if you use big craft ice, so like big ice,
Yeah.
like an old fashioned, put it in your glass when you make your drink, because what it does is it'll actually temper the ice, and then when you pour your liquor in, your ice won't crack.
That makes sense.
That's a good tip. Hey, Jason, if you could make a cocktail, this is one of those fun questions. For any celebrity, dead or alive, who would it be, and what would you serve them?
Ooh.
Celebrity now.
That's a tough question.
Hey, these fun questions are always seem to be tough.
Yeah.
The cocktail would probably be an old fashioned. I love old fashioned. I'm an old fashioned junkie. I have, much like Doc, I probably have 50 different versions of an old fashioned. What do you want? And people laugh because they'll come over and, well, do you like more sweet? Do you like less sweet? Do you like more, this? And based on the bitters I have, I can change it up, or the rye or bourbon or whatever. And so it kind of leads to what we were talking earlier. But as far as a celebrity, living or dead?
Yep.
Living or dead?
Growing up, I was, and I don't know that he would enjoy an old fashioned, but, I was always really a big fan of Bruce Lee. I would love to have met him.
I think made him a rice whiskey.
Little Hibiki, a little Japanese whiskey.
Yeah, maybe so. Well,
I think
we always got to come up with some oddball questions, off the wall things.
Hey, I think the celebrity I'd like to sit down and have a drink or a cocktail with and sit in a bar was Frank Sinatra.
That would be
because it was his life from the beginning. When he was at a bar, that was where he was, and everybody knew him. And he'd sit in the back of the bar or a restaurant on that elevated platform with women around him, and they'd always have cocktails going all the time. And every celebrity in the place would have to stop at Frank's table, have a chat with him, have a cocktail. I think that would have been neat. Sitting with the Rat Pack guys, that'd have been a blast.
Before we get to Russ's question, I would like to say, does any of you guys know who Harry Shearer is? From Spinal Tap.
Familiar,
He was in Spinal Tap.
Oh, yes.
I actually did get to sit down and have a drink with him in New Orleans.
Did you really?
Yeah. Didn't know who the hell he was at the time, but when we got through, I knew who he was. But yeah.
That's crazy.
It's pretty fun.
Well,
Jason.
we found a new bourbon enthusiast here in the lovely city of Little Rock that we didn't know lived here. We're going to be bringing him into the group at some point. He's been in a bunch of famous movies. Fast Times at Ridgemont High and things like that. But that's for another episode.
Okay. A drum hole there. Well, we have his number anyway. I don't know if he would appreciate us calling it or not. Russ wants to know, is there any pre-mixed cocktail mixes like the new Penelopes? Do you recommend any of those?
So, kind of a loaded question. I'll stand by. I still think that Scratch Made is better, but I understand that that's not for everybody, and some people don't want to go through the hassle. So, what's the alternative? I think there are some pretty good pre-mades out there, especially old-fashioned mixes. I've tried a bunch of them over the years. I still like making my own ingredients better, but there are some not bad ones out there. I don't know that I'm partial to any one necessarily over another. And they get expensive. That's, I think, my issue with them. I'm not sure what the Penelope one costs, but I know some of those other old-fashioned mixes. I mean, God, they're like $20-25 a bottle. It's like you could buy the liquor for the same amount as the mix.
Yeah. They're both out there, and they're very popular this summer. And I've seen what people do with the Penelopes is they keep them in a cooler when they go out on the boat or whatever, and blend them up, add a little extra. They always add a little extra bourbon to them. But,
you know what, Russ? Thanks for bringing up that question, brother, because you just gave me an idea for a video right there.
There you go, Russ.
Wine with old fashions and a premix versus a craft, and see if I can actually tell the difference. That'd be a good video.
There you go.
One thing I'll tell you, I noticed with both of those, they're very sweet. They always have a little extra sweet to them.
Yeah.
But that's the one thing I've noticed with them, that they tend to be a little sweeter.
Well, and I think most of the folks tend to trend a little sweeter, unless you are a real bourbon guy. Then you don't want the sweet. You know what I mean?
Right. It's like drinking wine. You start out liking sweet wine, and then you end up
Yes.
Once you drink it for a while, then you want the dry stuff.
So
Yeah.
my last question.
Yeah, it's kind of starting off with, like you said, the sweet reds, and then you're at Merlot before you know it. Yeah.
Yeah. So my last question
Good
for you,
point.
Jason, getting off the cocktail side, because we know,
Yeah.
and we know that both of us enjoy bourbons.
Oh,
What's
yes.
your favorite bourbon that you have right now that you just recently gotten? What's one of the favorite new bourbons that you pulled up that you
So
want neat, that you like neat?
I tend to be the self-proclaimed king of mid-tier. All right. I hate overpaying for bourbon. And I struggle with some of the bourbon prices because I just think it's absurd. And you can't see it on the camera, I have a whole tater shelf over there with all the, the things we all try to get. So guilty there too. But in terms of some of the newer ones that have come out, I really like the Old Fitz 7 for the money. I think that's a great bourbon.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Old Fitz 7.
Speaking of that,
I really like that one a lot. Actually, I haven't even popped it yet. I may just pop it here pretty quick, but I tried it at one of our whiskey gatherings. But have you guys tried the 1792 cognac finish yet?
Have not got it yet. It's supposed to be on the way to me in the mail somewhere.
I've been trying to get the other two finish versions, the ones with the Pinot Noir, Zinfandel, and those, and I have never seen them here locally.
And the other one I'm really impressed with right now, I think we talked about it on it was either your last live or maybe the live before that I was in chat, is the Jack Heritage, the toasted. I like that one a lot.
That is a good one too. Yeah.
There's been some pretty solid, not super expensive stuff coming out lately. I like where it's trending,
I think we're going to see a lot more of that with the supply far outweighing the demand,
I think the bubble may have finally burst on the whole bourbon market. It needed to. It was getting crazy.
Yeah. And it's not going to hurt us because honestly, I think, you said, there's a Sazerac 100 proof available now. There is my favorite is the Old Granddad 7-year. Something, the Old Granddad was a really good bottle. It was good with cocktails, but the 7-year bottle and bond, makes just something a little different.
So I tried that one. Carlos actually had gotten a bottle. He brought it over. I think we did it on a live. I really liked it, and I didn't know at the time. I saw it on the shelf. I'm like, whatever. I always drink 114, right? And I didn't give it too much, never mind. And then after I tried it, I'm like, well, dang it, now I need a bottle of that. And then, of course, you can't find it once you realize it's a bottle you need, right? So he did find one for me. God bless him. But you're right. I do like that. I like the Old Granddad 7 too. I think that's a good. I don't know. There's something about the 7-year bourbons. They're kind of that sweet spot, right? You get enough age, you get enough of that barrel note, but you're not paying $150 for it.
Right. Have you had the 12-year Eagle Rare?
No. So I have the 10 years. I have multiple bottles of that. I have not even gotten to try the 12 years.
I haven't either. I've heard it's fantastic. That those 2 years.
That's what I hear too.
Made a hell of a difference on it. So I always keep my eyes peeled for that, but I'm just not going to pay $300 for a bottle of it,
No. No, I'm with you on that one. Nope. No, so, I have a limit. You get much over 150 and I start to struggle.
Unless it's a King of Kentucky. If it's a King of Kentucky, hell, I'll pay 4 or 5 times what it's worth or more than that.
And you had to mention it, and I've got to drink a little bit because I gotta knock this one down. I have another bottle kill.
You're gonna have a dead soldier there, huh?
Yeah.
So, Jason, you were talking about all these things that you make. I'm curious. One thing that we haven't touched on is the bitters. So, can you go through the process of how you make your own bitters?
So, I don't actually do my own bitters yet. It's probably the next thing. That in tinctures, right? So, a tincture is pretty much like a bitter,
right?
Where you're infusing and it takes a while. I have a lot of bitters. I don't have as many as Doc. Doc, I don't know if you all have ever seen Doc's
Oh,
bitter
yeah.
collection. It's insane, absolutely insane. I think he might be the king of bitters. But I have quite a few. I've actually been with Carlos.
I'm just really surprised when I came up with that question there right on the fly. I just knew that you had to make your own bitters. Now I'm so sad and disappointed now, Jason.
Well, I can't be perfect, Craig. I gotta, work towards something.
He's got to have something to build to.
That's true. That's true. Well, the reason why I even brought that up for Christmas this year, I almost bought my wife a kit that would, that you would buy the ingredients and then you would make your own. And I thought, that would be really neat. Problem is, it's like she really wouldn't want to do that. So I would basically be buying them for me. So I let it go. But
my wife already makes fun of me because she just will come in the kitchen and I'll be working on, something. And I'm a big foodie too, right? I do barbecue and all kinds of different food stuff. But she'll come in and I'll have the scales out and the beakers out. And I mean, I'm nerdy enough that I even have like refractometers so I can measure like the sugar content of syrups.
sure.
I know how many bricks a syrup is to make sure I'm making it the way I want it to be. I'm that nerdy guy. And she'll always be like, what the hell experiment are you making now? And how much of a mess are you going to make? It's
Do you clean up after yourself, or you just throw it all in the sink and let her do that?
No. I clean up. But
Well, he was a bartender in the past. That's all part of the game. When you're a bartender, is the setup and clean out.
True.
I've gotten into super juices. And again, I'm going to go way out on a branch here. Nobody would know what the hell I'm talking about, but there's super juices where you can actually, it's like a supercharged citrus juice that keeps for longer than a regular. So normally if you juice lemon or lime, it only keeps for a couple days. A super juice will keep for like a couple of weeks. But you have to, go through this whole process where you have to break down the rind and then you're mixing. I mean, it's kind of a pain in the butt, to be quite honest. And it gets a little bit of an artificial taste because you're adding citric acid and malic acid and you get into all this weird stuff. But I really enjoy tea cocktails a lot. And there's another channel that does really, really great work. Make and Drink, Derek over at Make and Drink. He's kind of just a tiki guy. That's it. And in tiki, you really get into some stuff because now you're acid adjusting fruit juices and you're making, well, for example, that Paloma I was talking to you guys about earlier, Bourbon Paloma I did, the spicy Longhorn. I actually acid adjusted the grapefruit juice that's in it, because I wanted it to have more of the acidity of lemon because lemon goes best with bourbon.
Time out. We've got to get Jason and Joe Yamasuki together.
Oh yeah.
We've got a member in our group. He helps build our Discord page, and he did I guess you would call it a tasting, not really a blind, because it was a blind and a tasting. But he had like, what was it, Roger? 10 or 12 different samples, and each one he had
corresponded to a different course of the meal of a French meal.
And he would
French or Spanish meal.
He would take one bourbon and he would boil it and then add something to. I mean, this is like a mad scientist. I think you guys would hit it right off.
No,
toxic honey bourbon is what he's really wanting to do.
I get it. I went through a whole round about a month ago where I did a bunch of fat wash bourbons. So I did a Wagyu fat wash bourbon, a bacon fat wash bourbon, a duck fat wash bourbon. Yeah.
Yep, that was a popular thing at the old Dominic in
Memphis.
The duck fat old fashioned.
Awesome.
Can I do a shameless?
You know who you are, and you know you loved it out there. So
can I do a shameless plug for just a second?
Absolutely.
Plug away.
I appreciate y'all. So if any of our lovely viewers haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. I am one sub away from 3,000.
Oh,
One
come
sub.
on, boys and girls. We need it.
I think
Let's
you're going
go.
to go way past 3,000.
Come on, folks.
On Labor Day night, Old Glory Distilling Company out of
I was on that.
Tennessee. Yeah, you saw what happened that night.
I did. And Roger and I were just talking about that the other day. It was crazy what you guys pulled off on that.
Does anybody? I don't know if Kenneth's on tonight, but could we get a call on Whiskey Therapy? Are we at 3,000 subscribers yet? Come on, we can do this, folks.
Let's see. Oh, we are at maybe.
Hold on. Drum roll.
There you go. Already over 3,002.
There you go.
Boom.
Good job, folks.
Thank you, brothers. Appreciate you.
Hey, thank you, and we really do appreciate you coming on tonight. We learned a lot. You know, we might be called the Bourbon Legends, but we're all about ryes and cocktails and everything else. So, anyway,
And the key is this is all a community. We're all doing this, and we're all doing it for the fun of it. Take your chance, because I know that everybody's got a wife that doesn't necessarily like bourbon, that likes another cocktail. And Jason's got a lot of those out on his website and then on his YouTube page, and he goes into detail. And I tell you what, you can make your wife's day at night. But when she comes home, you have that cocktail ready for her. When she comes home, she's going to allow you to buy more bourbon. Just to say,
it makes a world of difference. So we have a little whiskey club inside of the larger whiskey club, right? And it's under a different name, and it's something, you know, a couple of us started because, you know, it's all about the brotherhood and the camaraderie and just hanging out and BSing and trying good whiskey. And the one thing I really wanted to make sure to do was not leave out the. So we have most of the gatherings over here at my house, but everyone will come over. The boys obviously have more than enough whiskey. Everybody brings bottles. So we always have like crazy things to try. But the one thing I make sure to do is I make cocktails all night long for all of the spouses, and then they can have a good time. And then we all have a good time. It's a wonderful gathering.
that's what it's all about.
It is. It really is.
We need more women into the bourbon and whiskey scene. You know,
We do. It's a stretch because it's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just some of them do take to it, and some of them have one. Honestly, I think most of the women have better palates than we do. To be quite honest.
oh hell yeah, there's no doubt.
They really do.
Bourbon is just
Okay.
one that seems like a lot of women struggle with. And to your point, Craig, I wish we could get more in, and maybe we will over time. Maybe it'll become more fashionable and the in thing. But
No, I had my wife going for a while drinking bourbon neat with me, and then, you know, it's one of those trending things. Me and Roger, we get some of these news article publications that we read, and the health thing, you know, people are really on a health kick right now, and they're dropping alcohol all over, and a lot of them, you know, are going to like these THC drinks, you know, instead of, you know, alcohol, and they're going with that. So, you know, hey, more for us. That's what I say.
there you go. There you go.
So I'm going to remind everybody, if you want to be in tonight's drawing or raffle, you have to pop over to the Bourbon Legends and type in #turkey. And then
And
also
do it now, because we're getting ready to draw that. We're getting ready to draw.
that for that bottle. And the second thing I want to remind you is, hey, we only got, I think, 22 likes out here. We need some likes. Hit that like button on your way in and out. Get the likes up. We need those. We need to do that. It's part of the fun part of the game. And if you want, subscribe to our channel, like our content. We do these lives every Thursday. We're going to have a very, very good guest on possibly next week from someone we just recently helped out. Let's just leave it at that. So,
Interesting. Jason, we appreciate you coming on. I know it's late over there in Florida,
Oh no, it's all good.
but we appreciate you. Everyone go to Whiskey Therapy and subscribe if you haven't already.
Take a look at some of the videos. They're very interesting.
And I just want to say, I mean, you guys are always so gracious to pump up everybody else, but anybody watching who hasn't subscribed to Bourbon Legends, why haven't you?
There you go.
They're awesome. And they could use some subs. They do a wonderful job pumping up everybody's subs. We need to give them some subs. So
there you go.
Who hasn't, hit it, like, subscribe, give them some love, guys.
I can only imagine what we'll be like when we get 3,000 subs. We'll be over the moon.
I think
it's a fickle female, right?
Oh.
It was Roger and I were talking the other night. It wasn't that long ago, honestly, Craig, and Carlos will attest to it. I mean, maybe 6 months ago, I didn't even have 200.
Wow.
So you hit that one video that just seems to go, and for whatever reason, YouTube goes, you know, we're going to push the algorithm behind this thing. And when they do, it only takes that one. So, I mean, you all just need to keep doing what you're doing. You guys do a great job. You do a great live, great videos. Just keep doing what you're doing. It's going to come. I have no doubt.
Thank you. Checks in the mail, Jason. Thank you for that plug. All right, everybody. Thanks, Jason. We're going to go give away a bottle, okay?
You want to hang on while we do that? Can he hang on while we do it? Put him on?
I don't have it set up to where he actually can.
Ooh.
I can try.
We'll stay in the background. We'll try to get you on.
I'll see if I can bring Jason in. I don't think Hey, yeah, I can. Woo! I did. All right. We're going to give away this spiced turkey right now. Wild turkey spiced. Here we go. I'm gonna hit the button. Good luck, everybody. Now let me tell you this real quick. I did not set. I've got to set up an email so they can email me. Let me do that real quick, just in case somebody wins that I don't have their address. Let me just this will give you guys just a minute to get in.
We just went up to 28, 29. Hey, we're getting there. Hashtag turkeys. There we go.
Let me see.
I like it. And I want to also remind you guys that we have a Discord that we pop onto about every night of the week. We've got somebody on Discord, or we have a very popular Discord page. If you go out to the bourbonlegends.com website, and you can find information on there, or on our Patreon list to look out there. So we've got a lot of different avenues. We're going to be adding more to our Instagram as we go along over the next few months, because apparently that you have to have Instagram stuff, otherwise you're not a grammer or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I need to hire somebody just to do that. All right, here we go, folks. We're drawing. Good luck, everybody.
Good luck.
Jared Percy, you get the bottle. Good job. Turkey. You get the spiced wild.
I think turkey. We know where Jared lives, don't we?
I believe so. I don't think I'm going to have to put my email out there for Jared. So, congratulations.
That warrants a special something.
All right.
Woo!
Love it.
Good show, guys. Good show. Hey, we're going to get off of here. Everybody, just remember Patriots Day, or Patriot Day. It's not an S. So go out and make this weekend a good weekend. Love your neighbor. Let's try to all get along. Let's end all this violence, man. Let's all have a drink, share a pour, and have a good time.
Wonderful.
Next week, I'd cheers you, but I'm out. Next week, same time, same bat channel. We're going to have a special guest from the state of Tennessee. We'll just say that.
Nice.
All right. So long, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.
Pour one more
for the stories we've told of barrels and bottles and whiskey gold. From grain to glass, through fire and flame, every pour's got a legend's name. So raise them high until next time, for we are the legends. We are